Turn your mic on. There you go. The zoning board of review is now in session. First item on the agenda is just roll call. Mr. Furell. Present. Ms. Horowitz.
Present.
Mr. Donovan.
Present.
Mr. Lorenzo.
Present.
And the chairman, Mr. Knotts, here as well. I'm going to break from normal agenda because we only have two items, but it's my understanding that the second item, Talaria Real Estate Holdings, is going to request a continuance. Is that correct?
That's great.
Come up, sir.
Steve McGilvery for Talaria.
Swear to tell the truth?
Yes,
Okay, full name and address for.
Steve McGilvery, from Pierce Atwood, 1 Citizens Plaza, Providence.
Okay, Mr. Gilvery.
Yes, we're seeking continuance. We have been in conversation with our abutting neighbor Weaver's Cove
Yep.
about resolving some of the issues that are risen between our clients. Mr. Galvin's here as well. He represents Weaver's Cove. And basically, we've agreed to move this out a little bit to give us some time to have those discussions. And we'd like to be heard, if the board allows, in February.
February, so you want to continue to our regular meeting in February?
Yes, please.
Could I have a motion to continue the petition of Talaria Real Estate Holdings to our regularly scheduled meeting February 15th?
So moved.
Could I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you
See you
very
in
much.
February.
Thank you all.
And now on to the only remaining item on the agenda, the petition of Cotta and Gail Rutledge-Cotta. And
Sorry. How are you, Mr. Jones?
right hand, swear to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay, full name and address for,
Jean Cotta, Cotta, 15 Terrace Drive, Bristol, Rhode Island.
Gail Rutledge-Cotta, Rutledge. Same address. Thanks.
okay. Tell us what you'd like.
Well, you took a ride up to see the
Well,
property.
first off, we'll just mention that we read the agenda tonight and there was an error that we saw on the agenda in reference to our property. It says it's on a public road. It is on a private road.
Right, it's just, well, it says with no frontage on a public road.
Okay, no
Right.
frontage on a.
No
okay.
frontage.
So it should be a private road.
For the, excuse me, for the record, could you show Mr. Kelly just showed? Show Mr. Kelly just showed. Thank you. Okay. All right, so, yeah,
Oh, okay,
that's one of the reasons you're here, is because
Yeah.
it's not on a public. road.
Right.
right. So
Okay.
we're looking for a special use permit and a dimensional variance. The dimensional variance is because it's not on a public road,
frontage.
there's no
Right.
frontage. And the special use, what happened was this property was in the middle of my farm, owned by another person, and we purchased it because we want to obviously live on my farm. So we when we did it, we were informed, Aaron had informed us that after a year, someone not living in it is considered abandoned. It was, the house is in really bad shape. It was abandoned even before we purchased it.
We abandoned the use.
Yeah, we
residential
abandoned the
use.
use, so it went back to what its original use was, which was light industry. So we're asking for special use to bring it back to residential, to put a house on it, to get, I forget the term, what do they call that term you told me? I forget what it's called. Anyway, to
Well,
be able to put a house on.
If it's granted, it wouldn't change the lot from light industrial
Right,
to residential. It would continue to stay light industrial.
right, which is why we put, what we gave in the
Right.
package showed the house in residential light
Right.
industry but I also don't know if those rules have changed with the January 1st, but it's gonna go where it is.
They did.
Okay. So, those are the two things that we're asking for. The house right now is, I think it's 3.5 or 4 feet near the road, so we're pushing it back.
Mhm.
We also, when we purchased the land, purchased some of the terracotta property to make the lot a bigger size, to make the non-conforming lot a little bit more conforming. So we made it a little bit bigger lot, which made more sense based on the visual structure of the land.
Right.
There was a stone wall and there's a little piece that the property owned all this in this little strip, so we just bought that little strip. So those are the two things that we're asking for, and if there are any questions, I mean, it's something that I would like to do because I would like to live on my farm that I grew up on, and be able to build this house so I could hear my mom and my dad, who is down, on the farm. So those are the things that,
So the rest of the houses on there, is that what, to the best of your knowledge, is that land light industrial too?
I
I
believe
believe
so.
so, yeah.
How old is the house that is condemned, for lack of a
I
better?
believe it was 1950.
Really?
Yeah, in the
Yeah, and I
50s.
think the house across from it was 1900. I think that was the original farmhouse.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, why did the woman just,
I think it was a complicated situation. I think there was a divorce, and then the ex-husband lived in the house and just had to pay the taxes and let it fall into disrepair.
And then he moved. And then she realized that he had moved with his new wife. And when she came back, she was like, oh my God, what happened? So
She actually started to repair it.
she tried.
Yeah.
And she put a roof on it, which is what's kept it up, really.
Yeah.
And then, she actually has like 7 houses very similar to that, from what I understand. So it's not a priority for her, I don't think.
right,
But so, when it got overrun and there was trees going out of the gutter and all that other stuff, she would come and like pick a few weeds and say, oh, I'm here to clean up. And then, I mean, so that it was just who she was. I'm not character assassinating anyone, but and then the inside, the ceiling started to fall down and it's just became, so we boarded it up so it wasn't a hazard, cleared the land, got rid of all the debris that was on the land because someone was using it as a dumping ground. There was a lot of propane canisters. There's an abandoned trailer that was there, and it was just an eyesore. So we're like, at
Yeah.
least let's clean it up. If we can't do anything else with it, at least because I have to live next, I
Right,
work next to it. So we did that, and then the opportunity came up that we could possibly hopefully build a house so that my mom could move in and we can take care of her. And then my dad, who lives down behind Agway, I'd be there to take care of both of them. That's my plan, but so with doing that, we do have a septic design that was already approved. The year we bought the property, we had a septic approved by the town and the state, so it's ready to go.
okay.
This is the last year we have out of the 5 years, and then that's no longer, so it took us that long to clear this lot, so we're ready to do something moving forward. But then we were informed that the use was, we had this dimension, these 2 problems, and so we're hoping that we can settle that today.
And the proposed house looks like it has a proposed barn with it.
No, it's a garage. It's not gonna be quite that big.
No, we are gonna be downsizing that. We were working with the dimensions on that, so it will be slightly smaller by a few feet, length and width-wise, but we're still working on that design.
Because it doesn't have a basement, it's on a slab, so
It's gonna be on a slab.
it's a slab, so it's through Morton Building, so it's a Morton Building
Yeah.
house that they do.
Right.
And so the garage is essentially not only a garage, but it's your basement too.
Right.
So that's why
Storage.
it's larger, larger than it is.
And we know that Mintwater Brook Lane is private. We see you have a private road agreement.
Yeah, there's an existing private road agreement that I think all the previous residents signed right prior to us buying the property.
Yeah.
We just drew one up at the request of the town's fire chief, to say, hey, we're also on board with maintaining and keeping the road clear and open.
Right.
Once we're living there and,
And speaking of the fire department, we do have a letter from Captain Reimels. And they don't have any objection. The only thing they'd like to see is some sort of space for a turnaround.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I had met with the captain at the fire station, and what we had discussed was there's no way we could put a cul-de-sac in that area,
We don't own the
but
land.
to be able to by us being able to push the house into a proper setbacks, it would give the fire trucks room to pull up onto Mintwater Brook and then back into the property to kind of do a large T turn.
Right, okay. Kevin, you need a break for a minute? Okay. Kevin, for the record, this goes under a regular full special use permit criteria, right? So I thought, so. Right. So I'm gonna run through the special use criteria, and these kind of yes or no answers,
Okay.
okay, so. Would the desired use be detrimental to the surrounding area?
No.
No,
Will it be compatible with neighboring land uses?
Yes.
yes,
Will it create a nuisance or a hazard in the neighborhood?
no.
It did.
Not like,
Um,
now it does.
Adequate protection is afforded to the surrounding property by the use of open space and planting.
Yes.
Yes,
Safe vehicular access and adequate parking are provided.
Yep.
Controls of noise, smoke, odors, lighting, and any other objectionable features provided.
Yep.
Solar rights of the abutters are provided for. What that means, solar rights of abutters are provided for. What that means is you're not gonna block the sunlight
no.
from your neighbors.
I have cows, that's my neighbors. They're my cows, though. They might want the shade.
The proposed special use will be in conformance with the purposes and intent of the comprehensive plan and the zoning ordinance of the town of Portsmouth.
Yep.
And the health, safety, and welfare of the community are protected.
Say that one more time.
The health, safety, and welfare of the community are protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And section J doesn't pertain to this because you're not in the town center district.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, those are all the questions I have. Anything?
I did have a couple questions, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
The existing structure is gonna be removed.
Yes.
Yes,
And the new house isn't going to be on where that old house was.
No,
no,
it's gonna be,
I don't think the town wants it there.
Right.
it's gonna be fully within the setbacks.
Yeah, because there was some discussion that the previous usage was being abandoned and this was trying to bring it back, but because the home is gonna be in a different location, the fact that there was something someplace else before, that kind of doesn't matter, does it?
Well,
It'd be here for the same thing regardless.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Regardless.
okay, so
Right.
this isn't trying to turn something on that what previously
Nope.
been turned off.
Nope, not at all.
Okay, all right, that's all I want.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue, anything?
No.
Mr. Lorenzo, any questions?
Yeah, I just have one question on your right of way. It's a deeded right of way? You're gonna record
Yeah.
this agreement?
Yes,
And the boundaries of this right of way are defined?
yeah, it's a 16-foot, wide road, which, the captain, said that, okay, that's fine if it's because he likes 20 feet, but he
Yeah.
said that was fine. And I guess I don't understand the question.
You want to know if the right of way is deeded to all the properties.
Right.
In other words,
As far as
you
we know,
Access.
it's-
We have
we've
deeded access.
You have deeded
We
access.
don't own any of it. It's owned by Terracotta.
Yes, that's fine, but
We have a-
usually for that kind of easements, I know from past experiences, you have to define the location of that right of way. That's really what my question is.
Really doesn't pertain to us. That's kind of that's kind of a civil thing with us.
But we do
Yeah.
have, when we bought the property.
I just want to make
The
sure,
lawyer-
I know it doesn't pertain to us,
Right.
but it does pertain to you, so
Yeah.
I'd see if I could get it one.
I think when we purchased the property, we did have a deed of access to it in the, purchasing of it. And if we don't, I can clear that up very quickly since I'm part of the ownership of that road.
Yeah, I would
And
recommend.
the other,
you.
I mean, I'm 1/6 of Terracotta, so Terracotta owns the road. So that's a whole different company that owns. the-
All the homes on there have deeded access.
Yes,
far as we know, yeah.
yes, they do.
Good.
Okay,
Because I'm pretty sure that's how, when we bought that property, they sold it with deeded access already.
Right.
Or they'll say he wasn't gonna sell it because his son lived with Judy, in the house across from us.
Oh, okay.
So.
Right.
It was, I think, so all those houses have.
Anything, Mr. Kelly? Wow. Okay. Is there anything else you want to say?
I don't think so.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
I just asked for butters or interested parties. No, okay. Very rarely get people who just come. Were you?
Yeah, I think if anyone showed up, they would be happy that we were, removing.
Removing this house.
They've been happy all along that we've cleaned it up. so.
We got anybody on board? Didn't think so.
There's
right.
3 abutters and I'm 2 of them, so.
Alright, so we have two things here. First of all, Gene Cotta and Gail Rutledge-Cotta are before the board for taxes assessors map 53, lot 10, seeking a dimensional variance, which is basically to construct a house with no frontage on a public way. And the second is a special use permit for requesting residential home on a light industrial lot, which is allowed per our ordinance with a special use permit. So, Mr. Furell.
Mr. Chairman, I vote to, taking the dimensional variance first, I vote to approve the dimensional variance. Although the lot doesn't front a public road, it does front, access to a public road with, adequate access for fire and public safety and things like that. I also, with regard to the special use permit, I also vote to approve the special use permit. The applicants have done, I think, a great thing of not only, getting rid of the structure that's there, but they're taking the effort to combine lots to give better, setbacks. In fact, meeting the light industrial setback, even though you're using this in a, residential application. So I approve both the special use permit and the dimensional variance.
Thank you. Ms. Horowitz?
I vote to approve both the dimensional variance and the special use permit for reasons stated.
Thank you,
by
Mr.
Furell.
Mr. Donovan?
I also vote to approve the dimensional variance, the special use permit. I am going to comment that the pictures you submitted of the house actually make it look better than it actually is.
Did you see?
However, the road looks, that may need a little work there. So
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a plan there.
Mr. Lorenzo?
I vote to approve also for reasons previously stated.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Gammon also votes to approve both the special use permit and the dimensional variance for reasons previously stated.
Thank
You're all
you.
set.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
All
Thank you.
set.
Good luck with the house.
Thank you very much.
So cool.
It is, yeah. Well, it was,
Our family's
the
been around
funny
a
story is, well, I know we have to adjourn first, but my grandfather was a president of the town hall at one point.
Yes, he was.
He was a long time ago.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
Absolutely.
Have a second?
the absolute is a
All in
second.
favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you folks for coming out. I mean, it's
Thank you guys for coming out just for us.